Hola amigos, I'm Joshua Orro, the Mustang Prince, and welcome to Mustang Prince Orro Reports. Now, while I was talking about Shrek 2 on my top 30 personal favorite animated movies, I did say that Puss in Boots was my favorite character in the Shrek sequels. For those who don't know, here's a little information about the fairy tale that Puss came from. The story follows an anthropomorphic cat who uses trickery and deceit to gain power, wealth, and the hand of a princess in marriage for his penniless and low-born master. The oldest telling was by Italian author Giovanni Francesco Straparola, hope I'm pronouncing that right, who included it in his Festatious Nights of Straparola from 1550 to 1553. Another version was by French author Charles Perrault after its publication in 1697. The book became an instant success, and it still remains popular to this very day. But in the Shrek universe, Puss is portrayed more like a Zorro-styled swordscat, complete with Spanish accent and amazing sword skills. And the way he bats his eyes is just so darn adorable. But have you guys wondered what Puss was like before he met Shrek and Donkey? Well, thanks to a generous request from Bailey Pace, I'll be looking at Puss's spin-off movie from 2011 and see how it holds up today. Released on October 28th, 2011, the movie is Puss in Boots. Now, let's get started. Years before meeting Shrek and Donkey, the adorable but tricky Puss in Boots must clear his name from all charges, making him a wanted fugitive. While trying to steal magic beans from the infamous criminals Jack and Jill, the hero crosses paths with his female match, Kitty Softpaws, who leads Puss in Boots to his old friend, but now enemy, Humpty Dumpty. Memories of friendship and betrayal enlarges Puss's doubt, but he eventually agrees to help the egg get the magic beans. Together, the three plan to steal the beans, get to the giant's castle, nab the golden goose, and clear Puss's name. So, what do I personally think of this movie? Well, let me just say this. I like it more than Shrek the Third and Shrek Forever After, but less than Shrek and Shrek 2. But, before I get ahead of myself, let's move on to Mustang notes. The movie was directed by Chris Miller, who also directed Shrek the Third, and he's also known for voicing Kowalski in the Madagascar franchise, from a screenplay by Tom Wheeler, along with Brian Lynch and Will Davies. The film had been in development since 2004, when Shrek 2 was released. As a Shrek 2 spin-off, it was initially planned for a release in 2008 as a direct-to-video film, then titled Puss in Boots, The Story of an Ogre Killer. By October 2006, the film was reslated as a theatrical release due to market conditions and due to DreamWorks Animation's realization that Puss's character deserved more. In September 2010, Guillermo del Toro signed on as executive producer. Discussing del Toro, Miller stated that they worked out a system for him to come in and once every few months or whenever they had something new to show him, if they needed someone to bounce ideas off of, he will always be there. And if they had a problem they were tackling, they'd get Guillermo on the red phone, which is their emergency phone, and ask him advice on what they should do with a certain character or scene. It was like having their own film school. Miller stated that Del Toro was particularly involved in Humpty Dumpty's character design. Del Toro loved the dreamy quality of Humpty Dumpty. He suggested that they push that further, making him more like a Da Vinci-style character. It was Del Toro's idea to make Humpty Dumpty an ingenious freak of nature who builds contraptions such as flying machines. He also rewrote the ending to redeem the character and deepen his relationship with Puss. An unconventional conclusion for a family film. He also helped design the fantasy elements of the giant's castle, as well as the architecture of the town, which he conceived as an amalgam of Spain and Mexico. It should also be noted that the movie was teased during the ending of Shrek Forever After. As for the animation, in my opinion, the animation and scenery is great, with a mix of Mexico and Spanish mixed together. Since this movie is from the Shrek universe, I feel like the characters have a similar CGI design, and I like that the story uses a Jack and the Beanstalk plot. Plus, I think the comedy is sometimes a bit clever, though a tad cartoony and cliched at times, especially with a few cat metaphors. But I think the music by Henry Jackman has an awesome Spanish rhythm to it, and the action and fight scenes make this movie really amazing, even though sometimes it does feel like the action from another movie that was released the exact same year. But I'll blog this movie next month, I promise. Anyway, that's basically all I got for Mustang notes, so let's move on to the characters and the voice actors who brought them to life. Our hero, Puss in Boots, is voiced by the amazing Antonio Banderas, best known from the Spy Kids trilogy, the second SpongeBob movie, and the 2 Zorro movies. Like in the Shrek movies, Puss is a great character, and I think Antonio Banderas had a lot of fun voicing him. Also, I feel like Puss's role in this movie is not only identical to Zorro, but he's kind of like Robin Hood due to him being an outlaw. Also, I think Puss's backstory on when he was a kitten was very emotional, surprising, and pretty shocking. Next is Kitty Softpaws, a street-savvy tuxedo cat who becomes Puss's love interest, is voiced by Salma Hayek, whom I remember from not only Spy Kids 3D, but also the raunchy Sausage Party, the eccentric Cirque du Freak, and the Beatles musical movie Across the Universe. I kind of like her, due to her cool and sleek personality, and I think Kitty can also be sneaky, suave, and alluring, but also pretty dangerous. Plus, I just love the scenes where Kitty and Puss dance together, even though the first dance scene was pretty funny due to it being, well, a dance fight. Next up is Humpty Alexander Dumpty, voiced by Zach Galifianakis, whom I've talked about in my blogs of Missing Link and A Wrinkle in Time. Humpty Dumpty is an egg-headed mastermind who intends to retrieve the golden eggs from the golden goose. In my opinion, Humpty Dumpty is a clever character, and even though he's an antagonist, I kind of liked his friendship with Puss during their childhoods, until he had Puss falsely accused for robbing a bank. Last but not least, we come to Jack and Jill, a murderous outlaw husband and wife couple, voiced by Billy Bob Thornton and Amy Sedaris. To me, these guys are really mean, greedy, and violent criminals. And I found it pretty surprising that they were working for Humpty Dumpty in order to trick Puss into being imprisoned. But at the same time, they seem to have a sensitive side when Jack suggests that they should have kids together. And now for my final words. Overall, Puss in Boots is a pretty good movie, and I want to consider it as one of my favorite animated movies of 2011, next to films like Rio, The Adventures of Tintin, Rango, Kung Fu Panda 2, and Romeo and Juliet. Sure, it can never top Shrek, but I think the story was pretty interesting, though a little cliched. The characters and voice acting is great, and the music by Henry Jackman is absolutely epic. By the way, while Puss did get a Netflix animated series, which lasted from 2015 to 2018, I hear that Puss may get a sequel, which will be directed by Bob Persichetti, the guy who gave us Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. But until the sequel does get released, I recommend you guys to watch this movie, and trust me, you'll all have a lot of fun. I give this film a 71% out of 100. Well, that's all for now, amigos. Be sure to join me next time for my 500th episode. Mustang Power. And to all my Spanish viewers out there, adios!